Welcome everybody to the April 6, 2021 Board of Health meeting at 6:04 p.m. This meeting is being televised live and recorded on our local cable access channel, WACA-TV. Also, this agenda is subject to change and includes those items reasonably anticipated by the chair to be discussed at the meeting. Not all agenda items may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. Anybody here for citizens participation? Moving on. All right, Sergeant Berman just walked away.
Hello.
Diane, Mark has us.
Tony, do you have something you wanted to add? Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Mark.
As if you haven't heard me before.
Go ahead, Mark.
All right.
Hi.
Good afternoon, good evening. How's everybody else doing on the nice April sort of early
going on, Mark?
night? I got a feeling you might be having a little delay in audio. Some people are having the delay because their area is getting frozen a little bit. Mine's not though. I'm just wanted to say I've been reading the newspaper. This is going to be quick. I've been reading the newspaper this past Sunday's Midwest paper, and it had a good article in it about Framingham. But it had a good article about the subject matter was about biotechs. And is the Board of Health have any ideas? I'm talking biotech in the for the town, and I know that one of the things is what build 18 to 50 Main Street, Jenny C. Bread is going to be leaving, and I know the building is going to be for mixed use. I just wanted you want to get an idea, put a biotech involved in that building as a Board of Health issue to help with the issues of the other people and all. You may not want to talk about it, but it'd be a good, interesting article to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I did not see the article myself, so a couple just clarifications. So it's 10 to 50 Main Street, and we don't know or have control over what's going to be going in there. My understanding is that won't even be discussion for at least a year. So it's far out. It's not going to happen soon. But honestly, that would be something that Beth Reynolds probably would be more involved with, being our economic development director, about bringing in companies, like offering incentives or something to a company, if that's what you're referring to.
I was in a sense. I
Send her a quick email and just let her know.
Okay. I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying, and I'm agreeing with what you're saying. And I was just saying that since now you're at town hall and you two can talk whenever you have the time to combine forces to see if a science can be brought in that year. That's all.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, Sergeant Berman, are you ready for a COVID update? All right, you're up.
Absolutely. Hi, everybody. A lot going on. Nothing is slowing down. The first thing I did want to mention tonight, everybody, is last Monday, a week ago Monday, I worked with Chief Roby and Captain Moorhan, and I had the MRC trailer brought down to Town Hall. On Tuesday, Akuti and I went out there, and we just wanted to make some sense of what was actually in the MRC trailer. To put it nicely, we worked on it for 4 hours and didn't even make a dent. We threw away a lot of things that were very outdated. There were old stroke folders from the year 2000, things like that. Found some interesting things in there too, a brand new generator, lights. So we are going to make some sense of that. And we will get that cleaned up So if we need to use it at one of our vaccine clinics, there is quite a bit of sets of gloves, masks, quite a bit of material in there that we can really start looking at. But my goal is to get that all cleaned out and have a full, actual, correct inventory of that for you. So that's that on that. So most of you know, a couple of weeks ago, our regional collaborative was approved. We've had a couple of meetings. The 5 other towns and myself have had meetings over the last couple of weeks. We still don't have any vaccine, but we've made some very interesting progress. We've secured a temporary lease agreement with the DoubleTree in Westboro. That was signed by the Northborough town manager. So we have our space all set to go. So when we get vaccine, we have our area already set up. Last Friday, all of us met up there and we actually set the whole thing up. So we have our waiting area, we have our registration area, the vaccine area. One of the things the state also asked us to do was to come off of the PrepMod system, which was the system that most of the state was using for registration and keeping track of it, over to a new Color. It's called Color. Myself and the other boards we've been doing these weekly quick trainings with them. So we're ready to go. The town of Northborough ordered all the IT equipment that we need for our vaccine clinic. One of the differences between this and PrepMod, if any of you have been through a clinic, is that as at each vaccine station, the paramedic or whoever's doing the vaccine has to enter that data in right there and then before the person leaves. And the minute that vaccine is entered, they automatically get a text message to set up their second appointment automatically. So there's not a lot of duplication anymore, which we had to do with PrepMod. We're hoping for a vaccine next week. If that's the case, our clinic, we will open that up. And what's nice about this collaborative is that what the state is allowing us to do is that, and basically what they're saying is that each week, if we can administer 85% of the doses in a very short period of time, we'll be guaranteed vaccine each additional week. We think we will have no issue using all 100% of it in a very short period of time. So how that's going to work is each town was asked to post a position for clerical assistance. We did that. We actually got a total of, between all the towns, a total of 30 resumes. We're meeting tomorrow by Zoom to go through the resumes to come up with the 6 people. The monies for that will be paid for either through the insurance reimbursements or MEMA will be paying those for those people. Just so that we have the same, the thought was always have a consistent people, the administrative people, the people checking people in, making sure everything is going smoothly during the day. The town of Westboro hired a vaccine coordinator to be on site. So the one main person would be on site every day whenever the clinic is open. And then for the rest of us, it'll be a shared responsibility. So for example, if we were going to do a clinic, let's say on a Monday, Mondays might be the Ashland Hopkinton day. So if that's the case, myself and the Board of Health director from Hopkinton would have to be on site for the day there, kind of overseeing everything that goes on. Can I answer any questions on that and where we're going with that? KG, you're muted.
Is that beginning next week or?
So KG will know by Thursday or Friday of this week if we're going to get any vaccine next week. If that's the case, like I said, we are ready to go. So if we're going to get vaccine, we'll be able to open it up. The other nice feature about this collaborative, everybody, is that 25% of the doses are automatically reserved for our residents. So out of the batch. So that's the bonus to being in part of this collaborative. Well, speaking of vaccine, you all know that we did run one a few weeks ago up at our community center through the Ashland Housing Authority. They were able to secure 100 doses of Moderna. We had a very successful clinic. I think KG came up to see it. I got confirmation about an hour ago. We had our second clinic, the second vaccine dose scheduled for next Thursday, the 15th, at the community center. And I got confirmation today that those 100 doses will ship to us overnight on Monday. So we will have those ready for Thursday. If anyone wants to come up to the community center on next Thursday to take a peek, I welcome you to come up and see that. Cases are still coming in, everybody. Today, what I did was a check-in with all the schools nurses, especially at the elementary schools, since we're back full K through 5. So I did check-ins with the nurses to make sure they didn't have any issues or problems or concerns, and we worked through a couple of minor things. The Dream Station has reopened. I don't know, most of you know we did shut the Dream Station down daycare from multiple positive cases. They had it in one room and then it kind of kept spreading around the building. So working with them and the epidemiologist, we all made the recommendation that they close for a week. We did that and we have got it out of the building. This week, over the weekend, we made a decision and worked with the Pincushion Montessori School. They have closed this week due to 2 positive cases, and the kids, they're 3 to 5 year olds, so you can't ask a 3 to 5 year old, hey, were you 6 feet away? Were you, so the director made a decision to close this week just to kind of nip it so it doesn't spread. And I think that's my quick update for you. Any questions?
Anything about homebounds?
Mark.
No, let me ask it.
Mark,
Let me ask it. Because I've been waiting, me and my dad's been asking.
Mark, please, I don't want to have.
Does that mean you don't care about the seniors at home?
Your turn. We have a process here that we're gonna follow.
Does that mean you don't care about the homebound seniors?
Hang on, Mark. Diane, you're breaking up.
Can you mute Mark and Sony, please? Because I don't have. So,
Okay, I'll just answer that real quickly. So
yeah,
everyone, for Ashland.
Everybody's a little off. I assume it's because of that it's being recorded. Can you hear me better?
I can hear you a little bit better, but your picture's frozen, Diane. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
I hear you,
All right.
yeah.
So on the homebound, everybody, we signed on with the state program, and Joanne Duffy and her group.
I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. So Joanne Duffy and her staff identified, I had about 10 seniors that are homebound. That information has been entered into a state system. And I do know a few of the people have already been contacted to schedule a time where the state has hired a couple of ambulance services that will go directly to those houses. It's going to take a few weeks because they got close to 9,000 entries into this computer system in a very short period of time. But I'm keeping track of it, and so isn't Candy Wilson keeping track of all of that.
Okay. So Ed, I just had one question. For the vaccine that supposedly you're going to get hopefully by the end of this week, is there an age restriction to that, or? So Barbara, right now, if it's Pfizer or Moderna that we get, it's 16 and over has been approved. And right now, Pfizer is trying to get approval. They finished their clinical studies. They're trying to get approval from the FDA for 12 to 15-year-olds. But it's not approved yet by the FDA. And I do know that they've just also, Moderna is doing trials right now. I believe it's 5 to 11-year-olds.
But again, we can't do anything until the FDA makes that approval.
Okay, thank you.
So just to kind of get back to the basics here, I do want to keep orderly conduct of our meetings because we've had people talking over each other in the past. So what I'd like to do is just go in order of the board members. I don't care which way. So, and that's why I was asking you, Mark, nicely to just wait because the board members might have questions before you. So if we could just keep it in an orderly fashion, I would appreciate it. I was going to say, I would like to publicly recognize Mill Pond Rest Home. Mill Pond Rest Home sends us, because I know that they've been in front of us before, they send us emails giving us updated in their facilities, and I think they should be recognized for that because they are very proactive, and it's nice to see a change in management has changed their outlook on how they run their practice, and I think they should be recognized for it. Chris, do you have any questions for Sergeant Berman?
No, Ed, thank you for all your work as usual. It's very thorough, and I second your recognition of Mill Pond. What a difference management makes.
All right, I think we're all a little delayed, so I apologize. KG?
Yes, I do think that what they're doing a good job, and then we need to thank that lady Rita Hyde for her better management there.
Well, KG, do you have more questions?
No,
All
I don't
set?
have.
Okay. Ron, do you have any questions?
Nothing to add. I agree with whatever everybody's sentiments about Mill Pond. It's what an amazing turnaround. And thanks, Ed.
And Barbara, do you have anything else you wanted to ask Sergeant Berman? Or Ed, I call him so.
Ed.
You all
Yeah.
set, Barbara?
We're good. Yes,
Okay,
thank
all
you.
right. All right, anything else, Ed?
No, that's it.
All right, awesome. Well, thanks for the updates. Appreciate all your hard work. All right, the next item on the agenda is Donna Walsh, who is on my right-hand side here in front of the board for her annual appointment as the animal inspector. Her position is an annual appointment in the month of April, correct? Donna? I think it's April of each year. So I think we all know Donna. Barbara, I don't know if I think you met Donna maybe virtually. Donna's been with us for many years as she's our animal control officer as well as our animal inspector. Sorry, I don't know if I broke up on you. I got a message on my screen, sorry. So if nobody has any questions for Donna, I would like somebody to make a motion to appoint Donna Walsh. Actually, Donna, it's you and are we appointing assistants or just you?
She's muted herself.
Yep, she's working on it, I think. Is it just you, Donna? Give me a head shake. Okay, all right. That's what I thought. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody.
Now it's unmuted. It's just me at this time.
Yeah. Diane, I've had the pleasure of doing this for the past few years. I'll continue to do that. I do recommend that her name be added as the inspector for the town, animal inspector for the town. If our bylaw permits it, the law permits it, I recommend that. Somebody needs to second that.
Second.
Do I hear a second?
Good.
Yeah, you do. All in favor?
Aye, KG.
And
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Chris.
Breeze.
Hi, Ron.
Thank you, everyone. Just for curiosity. Yeah, just for curiosity, is it because we're being recorded that this is, I don't know if Allison's on here. I assume it's not connection we have or anything that we can do anything about. All right, thank you, Donna. Thanks for all your hard work, and you're welcome to stay on the meeting.
Thank
All
you
right,
all.
the next item on the, looks like she's trying to say something, but
And she said, thank you all.
you're welcome, Donna. Okay,
Diane, you may be able to go out.
the
You may be
next
able,
item on the agenda is the Board of Health Agent / Director, and we have ask me or Laura, because Laura is the host, right?
yeah.
Should
So,
tell
well,
her
I mean,
getting
yeah.
off and get back on.
yeah, sometimes that helps if you just jump off. So if you, yeah. Oh, she's gone. Oh, no.
She's still on.
No, Laura-
Yeah, I think it's only her that's breaking up,
so
right?
maybe
Yeah,
Laura
that's-
as the-
Yeah. So you can either make me the host
Just
or
me?
Laura the host.
She'll come back anyway in a few minutes. So.
Yeah. So Laura, you'll just have to let her back in. Sometimes it's just a bad connection.
Yeah. She doesn't back. Chris is the one supposed to run it.
Yeah, she's back.
I'm on standby.
Yeah. Don't block her though.
There she is.
There she is.
She's back. All right, good.
I made you co-host, Jen.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Not that anybody cares, but my name's not Ron. I'll just leave it for now, just for simplicity here. All right, Jen, anyhow, Jen Ball.
Okay. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we're working through the interview process for the public health director. As you know, it was a little bit longer than anticipated. Over the last couple of weeks, we had a pretty good candidate pool, and oh, funny, I can hear feedback. We had two really strong candidates. We made an offer this past week, and we got an acceptance this evening, actually. And so what I was hoping to do is make sure that we forward over the resume for your review. Obviously, Chris was part of the interview process and was able to look at resumes and give some feedback, and then to sort of adhere to our procedures. What we'll probably do, and I can turn this back over to Diane, but what we need to do is sort of have an affirmation or, have you consent to us moving forward. Right now, the anticipated start date of the person is the first Monday in May. So we do have a little bit of time if we want to just do that at your next meeting, but I can turn that over to Diane. And then I'm happy to answer any questions. And so when I send the resume to everybody, if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to, if you just email me directly, that way we don't have to worry about, if there's any questions that I'm happy to answer in between the meetings.
Sorry, I do keep freezing up, and I don't want to was just talking to Ed about rebooting. I won't be able to reboot while I'm on the meeting, so I apologize if I'm a little messed up here tonight. So, does anybody have any questions for Jen about the director's position? Jen and I are going to work.
Sorry. Do you know how many candidates applied for it and how many got interviewed?
How many positions? So I can look at the total number, but it's definitely because it was open for a while. They sort of trickled in and out. So we probably had over 20 applications, or it might have been even more than that. I'd have to look. Some of them come through Indeed and they don't really even line up. So we don't really, it's not even a real sort of look. But we first interviewed at least 7 to 8, and then the second round, which consisted of Chris and Michael Herbert, were 3.
Yeah, if we can get some statistics to understand when we have a meeting, so at least on the record somewhere that we did make efforts.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That would be a thing to keep it on the record somewhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Thank
And we did a lot of outreach through, public health, professional organizations as well as some of the colleges. Obviously, what we were hoping for, given the size of that department, is somebody who has had municipal experience and sort of can come in. Obviously, it's an incredibly busy time. And so, we're lucky where we have Sergeant Berman doing COVID work. This person can obviously work with Sergeant Berman, but also will have a good focus on, all the other elements of public health. And, municipal public health is pretty unique in how broad it can be. And so we are really looking for somebody who had some municipal experience, can sort of hit the ground running. We had some really great candidates. I think we had a lot of people that would have been the perfect number 2 if we had, a larger department, just almost there. It would have been great, but just didn't have quite the breadth of experience that our current candidate has. And so, we're really excited. We think that he will bring some knowledge and some excitement and some fresh eyes to the position, which will be really great. I think it'll be a really good fit.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you, Chris, for doing this job for us.
So probably Jen and I are going to work out some of the details as it gets a little closer, but the board itself will need to consent to the appointment of this position. Can't fix live TV, right? So anyhow, I plan on putting it on the agenda for the next meeting, and if we need to do something sooner, I'll let the board know. It's just not my night for meeting. Can you tell?
It sounds like Diane's just got back from the dentist.
I know.
Maybe she needs a mesh network or something at home to.
I know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now you can, yes.
I just said to my husband, I said, get off the Wi-Fi. I'm having an issue with my meeting. So I will try to not have my video on. Maybe will help. I'm not sure. Thanks to the guidance of our Sergeant Berman, who does a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So hopefully it won't break up as much. So anyhow, we'll work on the procedural aspect, but at the next meeting, we will likely Jen's she probably mentioned it and I didn't hear it, but send out the resume, and then we will put it on as a consent to hire that person. And again, Jen, you might have said it already, I apologize, but the anticipated start date is May 3rd.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So awesome. Anybody have any questions? Again, I might have missed a couple of things here, but everybody all set with that? Okay. All right, anything else, Jen?
I don't think so. No, I think.
Okay. Well, just like I tell everybody, you're more than welcome to hang out with us this evening and participate in the meeting.
Thank you.
No, we understand, so.
She needs varieties of meaning anyway.
All right.
Yeah, it's a meeting week for her. All right, thanks again, Jen.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Does it seem to be helping to have my video off?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Great, thank you. Thanks, Ed. The next item on the agenda is the Metro West Tobacco Control District. I know, again, Jen, I know has been involved in that as well. There was a meeting yesterday that Jen attended. I did not make it. The grant has been extended for another year. So therefore, the agent that is employed by the region will need to come in front of the board and be appointed as an agent. And she will also be doing tobacco compliance checks for us. So her name is Olivia. So I can get into further details about the next agenda. The next agenda looks a little busy, but I do want to give her time to present to the board the program and overview. And then again, we will appoint her as an agent. They're looking at doing some compliance checks. I'll just say a little bit later on. I don't want to publicly say when they're doing them to give people heads up. But so I'm gonna give her a time spot at the next meeting to come and meet the board as well as the board meet her. Any questions on the tobacco control program?
Yeah,
Diane, oh, actually, no, I'm sorry, it's 9B. I'll cut in with that later.
Okay.
The question is, did we notify the vendors already, or is that still?
Yes, Yes, our agent did go out after our last meeting. I did, Melissa. She did go out and talk to all of our establishments and let them know what the current state fining system was. So we do plan on notifying them about the process for when we do the meeting in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Actually, I just realized 9B was discussion for next week, so I'll chime in real quick. I did send over, and I guess you guys all see it, I updated the regulations to have the actual fines in them. And I added Barbara's name and removed Judy's name to the regulation. Since we do now have someone who's accepted the director position, we can add that name too and not sign it until he's officially on board. And then the only other thing that I did not change that we might want to change is the effective date to coincide with whenever those fines became effective. I don't remember what the date was, but I don't know that that's 100% necessary, but something we might want to consider before we actually take the time to sign the revised version.
Okay, yeah, we actually did put that under 7 in general, or actually it's probably under 8 now. But I did take a peek at that and just did a comparison just so I could look at it. And what I thought we could do is send that draft, if you will, to all the tobacco vendors and let them know that we're gonna have a public discussion for procedural. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it, but for procedural, we'll have a public discussion. We'll have our tobacco agent there and maybe Olivia, if she's available, to to do a presentation on that as well. And take any questions from vendors if they have anything. And then normally we take into consideration people's comments and then sign them at a later meeting, but because this is a state law, I think we can just sign them at the next meeting, if everybody's comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing is that Olivia is also going to be working with the other person too, the one that we already have, or is the same person will be doing
Yep,
both?
Melissa and Olivia know each other. They've been working together because Olivia is our regional agent. Melissa reports all the data to her because she has to report it back as part of the grant. So they've been working together for some time.
Oh.
All right. So
What extra thing that the regional person would bring other than Melissa doing the checks?
well, I think the key to the whole thing is out of, I believe it's 11 communities, we are the only community that actually has an agent on staff. I mean, as far back as I can remember, we've always had a tobacco agent. So in general, this is an agent for all of the communities. For us, it's an extra agent. So it's extra compliance checks or extra education.
We have
so-
redundancy, is that right? Or
I'm hopefully trying. This is, I think I explained to the board at the last meeting. This is all a little bit new. We were not really aware that we were in this collaborative. So I've been working with Olivia to make sure that the grant was going to extend past June, because obviously if it extends past June, we'll accept services. So she goes by the guidance of the state. So they were not, they were doing education during COVID and pushing education. And now the guidance is they can start doing compliance checks. So she will be doing our next round of compliance checks. And she has a date in mind. Again, we'll just leave it open-ended, but she has a date in mind. She has it planned. So that will be a service that she will do. And then I was planning on working with Jen, with Melissa, who's our employee tobacco agent, to see if we could have her do some other things within maybe even the schools or education or outreach while Olivia does the compliance checks.
all right.
So we'll get there.
Yeah, we get a broad exposure for control. That's it. That's good.
Well, and I also I think it's great that we have a collaborative, and even with the finding, at least they brought it to our attention because we didn't know, so stuff like that. It's good that they keep up on it. So.
Sure.
All right, so I think we covered Metro West Tobacco District, and we covered the tobacco regulations. So I'm kind of jumping around here. I'll move to the IMA with the city of Framingham, Hudson, and Holliston. It's still in limbo. I hate to report to the board, it's still in limbo. We had a meeting last week. This grant absolutely expires June 30th. What we were looking at, there's an agency in Framingham that has been doing vaccinations for children and adults who are coming into our community that need it. They've been doing the workload, so we're seeing if they could possibly offer us personal services in our community versus people going there, to see if we could use that grant money for the use intended. I have not heard back from them. Making an assumption that they haven't been able to work out any type of an agreement or any type of services that they can provide. So even though that grant is expiring in June, we at least have another regional approach with, again, I believe right now it's probably 9 communities. They call it a fill in the gap grant. So Hudson would be the lead agency, and they would offer each community services. It's not like this original grant with the nursing services. It does incorporate a small amount of nursing services, but it also helps with, food inspection, helps with education, again, a small amount of vaccination. That's all I can come up with on top of my head. So the same thing where we've applied for a regional grant for that program that would start next fiscal year. And they're anticipating it to be a multi-year grant versus this one was a year-to-year grant. So if that grant, I guess it's a very competitive grant, so hopefully we'll get it as a region, but that grant would also offer us more benefits for the community. But the grant just went in, I believe, the end of last week, so we haven't heard. I think we'll hear by the end of April if that grant has been awarded to us, or us as a community, as the region, excuse me. So I know that was a lot. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Yep.
All right. All right. For the consent agenda, we have the FY21 budget, and we also have approval of the minutes from March 2nd, 2021. Do I hear a motion to move?
So moved, my friend.
Thank you, KG. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Hi,
Hi,
Kate.
Chris.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Barbara.
Hey, Ron.
Thank you. All right, so the next item on the agenda is the next meeting, which again is April 20th. It does look like we are going to have a busy meeting. I know I tried to keep it to the 2-hour limit, and I will try to do that as well. So at the next meeting, we're anticipating, haven't received a request yet, but we're anticipating the annual lifeguard waiver for the lanterns, at Warren Woods. We do that, Barbara, just to let you know, we do that annually. It's a private community that has a pool, and there are lifeguard requirements. And I think it's the last 2 years, I believe it is, that we've given them a waiver from the lifeguard requirement. You have to be a resident there, and there's very specific rules, but they'll do a presentation for us. Just make sure nothing's changed, and present us with that before we give them a waiver.
Yes,
So-
Dan, all of these big groups of houses, when they dug the well, they all said they'll send the water quality report and everything. I don't know whether that's being checked or not. They should have done that by this time. So can somebody run around and find out whether they?
Yep, I will look into it, and I can notify the board for that
Yeah.
one, as well as Cirrus, right?
Cirrus, as well as the lanterns on the wood, and there was one on the next to the Mill Pond area, or Shadow Creek, or whatever that. They all said, if I remember right, they said they would produce their water quality reports after they dug the second well or the first well or both wells, one of these.
Okay.
And the other thing is that some of these complexes have the gyms, and I don't know whether Ed has been going there to monitor them or not, to see things are kept in better shape under COVID conditions. That if you can get some kind of a assessment next time, that'll be nice.
I can do that.
Thank you.
Okay, just again, just to let everybody know, so possibly the lanterns at the next meeting, we'll be discussing the tobacco regulations. We'll have the tobacco agent on for the next meeting. I have a couple of things that I've been helping fill in the gap since we don't have a director. I have a couple of cases that hopefully will not be on a public agenda for the next meeting. But they're things hopefully that get resolved, but those could be hot topics, if you will. Just a couple of, one of them is a housing code order, and the other one is we did, I guess I can talk about this one publicly, is I did get called out Sunday night to a fire on Olive Street. So we're working with the property owner with taking care of cleaning up the property. So he is working with us, so we hopefully will not have that on the agenda for the next meeting. Let's see. And I think, it's going to be a lot. I think that's enough for next meeting. I don't know if anybody has anything else that they want on the agenda for the next meeting.
Nothing. If you find anything, we'll let you know by email anyway. So we have time to add if you want to.
Awesome. All right. If nobody has anything else, I will take
I
a
take the
motion
pleasure
to
of
adjourn.
making a motion to adjourn if that's the thing that you're looking for.
Can you not hear me again?
Oh, we can hear
Can
you.
hear you.
KG is just being a rascal.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now,
At least these are
I'm
good.
glad that, Chris, you're very alert now.
I'm fully vaccinated as of yesterday, so I'm very alert.
Energetic. Okay.
Yeah, congratulations.
Nobody seconded it though.
I
Oh,
second.
Oh, all right.
Thank you. All in favor?
Hi, KG.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Diane. All right, everybody. Sorry about the technical difficulty, but we'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone.
Good
Take
night,
care.
everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.